Gina, welcome back after your getaway.
Yeah,
nice
she had a nice
to have
little
you back
break.
this Monday. Right now, firefighters are looking into a first alarm fire that broke out inside a Mesa business complex. We were showing you that from Bruce's view a little earlier.
Well, now Jill Gallus is just arriving at the scene. This is at Broadway and Alma School. Jill, what can you show us?
Broke out just at the end of this really long industrial business type complex. We're told that it was inside of a suite that was housing auto parts, and the fire broke out in a desk area. But firefighters who are on scene right now, along with police officers, looking into what caused this. When we were on scene just after 6:30, we actually saw some smoke coming out from the top of the building. Again, this was called out as a first alarm fire, so there were multiple agencies that rushed over here. And you have to understand that because this is one long business building, if this fire had taken off, it could have quickly spread to multiple buildings within this complex. Forrest Smith with the Mesa Fire Department is here with us. Tell us the circumstances that firefighters encountered as soon as they arrived.
Well, like you said, when you guys got here, you saw a great deal of black smoke come up. Well, when our crews, the same thing. They got here, a great deal of black smoke puffing out of the top, some of the ventilation areas. We did have crews from Chandler, Tempe, as well as Phoenix assist us. As you had told your viewers, it was a first alarm fire, mainly because of the type of structure we had. Now, once our crews made entry, they found a great deal of black smoke, extremely dramatic setting where the smoke was about knee level. They had a difficult time trying to find a seat of the fire, had to navigate through a great deal of stock. There was a lot of shelving. Again, it's a supply area for auto supply parts, and so then they had to navigate through that to find a seat of fire. We did determine that the seat of the fire appeared to be in an office area, and it was kept in check by a sprinkler. So that's pretty much what saved this building for the most part from keeping that fire from spreading to all the contents in that building. So fortunately, a lot of the product that they have has not been lost.
I guess a good reminder to people, double check that your sprinkler system is working, because in the event of a fire, it can be helpful, as it was in this case, because the fire is now out. But as I mentioned, there are still crews on scene now going through the building, trying to determine the exact cause. Back to you.
In Mesa, firefighters from multiple agencies rushed to a business complex that caught fire. Jill Gallus is at the scene near Broadway and Alma School with more on what helped to keep it from spreading, and also the materials that were burning. Those could be dangerous. Jill, good morning.
Good morning to you as well, Olivia. When you're inside of a business and you basically look up at the ceiling and you see those really small sprinkler heads, well, that's what ultimately helped keep this fire from taking off and spreading all throughout this very large business complex. Here's what the scene looked like right around 6:30 this morning. We could see lots of black smoke coming out of the top of this building. As you mentioned, firefighters from multiple agencies out here in the East Valley responded, since this was called out as a first alarm fire. Once firefighters made their way inside of the building, they noticed that this particular area where the fire had started was packed with auto parts, but firefighters were actually able to gain control of this and put it out rather quickly without too many complications, all thanks to a working sprinkler system.
We know that sprinklers, of course, save lives, but we also know, importantly for a business, that it saves a building and a business in itself. And so the amount of merchandise that was saved as a result of this sprinkler head, it took one head, it appears, to keep this fire in check.
What started this fire in the first place is still under investigation. Live in Mesa, Jill Gallus, 3TV.
And Jill, thank you. Very quick and effective work out there by the firefighters. Appreciate the report.
When you think of the first line of defense from a fire, a smoke detector may be the first thing that comes to your mind. But in Mesa this morning, it was a sprinkler system that saved a business. Jill Gallus is near Broadway and Alma School to explain how it helped keeping the fire from spreading.
When you're inside of a business and you look up at the ceiling and you see those really small sprinkler heads, well, that's what ultimately helped keep this fire from taking off and spreading all throughout this very large business complex. Here's what the scene looked like right around 6:30 this morning. You can see lots of black smoke coming out of the top of this building. As you mentioned, firefighters from multiple agencies out here in the East Valley responded, because this was called out as a first alarm fire. But once firefighters made their way inside, they found that this particular area where the fire started was packed with auto parts. Firefighters were, however, able to gain control of this and put it out rather quickly without too many challenges, all thanks to a working sprinkler system.
We know that sprinklers, of course, save lives, but we also know, importantly for a business, that it saves a building and a business in itself. And so the amount of merchandise that was saved as a result of this sprinkler head, it took one head, it appears, to keep this fire in check.
What started this fire is still under investigation, and no one was hurt. Reporting in Mesa, Jill Gallis.
Well, promoters and emergency